Welcome here, huh? How are you, my friend? What's up, bro?
He's moving to Vegas, Dennis.
Yeah. You too? Yeah. Give me a couple of years. Just being out here, oh my God, so much better than LA.
I see you're doing well in LA right now.
Yeah.
All your personal training and stuff.
Very blessed. So, and I'm
Great job, man.
opening up a really high-end life enhancement center, what I'm calling it. So everything, stem cell injections, physical therapy, massage, all your cosmetics, hormone and wellness clinic, and a performance training center all in
You'll
one.
be the guy who's doing the buttocks or
Oh yeah, I'm doing everything.
Okay.
I'm do it all.
I'm happy to for you.
Yeah.
Nice to hear, and I'll follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
See a lot of work.
You're looking
Mike
amazing.
Tyson, all the stuff. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Feel good?
I feel amazing. I
Yeah.
feel great.
You start dropping the weight a little bit, and you just everything just moves better.
Completely different feeling.
Yeah.
You just enjoy a couple different things. You
Yeah.
know. But I still don't like my mirror.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. It's like we love that size. Like
Exactly,
I
yeah,
just retired, and I want to, in my mind, I want to drop another like 10 or 15 pounds of muscle. I want to start being an athlete again.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you put on an article of clothing, you're like, oh man, that used to fit.
Yeah.
I want to get bigger. You're like, no.
It's like when I walk in the gym,
Yeah.
I kind of look normal,
Yeah.
for more people.
Yeah.
And then after a pump, man, they're like,
Right.
what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And that's the look I like
Right
right now. I
maintain.
mean, this pump and everything,
Yeah.
it still looks like a bodybuilder.
Right.
But without it, just a better feeling.
Yeah.
The bodybuilder is always kind of tired, always heavy feeling,
Yeah.
and
That's the thing people don't understand. Like weight is weight. Whether it's muscle or it's fat, it's still a strain on our organs, on our joints, and everything else. So to feel better, just feel healthier. You look amazing. That's
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Most guys, when they get into their retirement careers, they either give up, don't train.
Most of them probably doing still the same,
Right.
still trying to keep the size and all that.
Or they just give up completely and they stop doing everything.
Probably I'll be the same,
Yeah.
doing probably the same, but because of my injury, I was forced
Right.
to drop some
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
And I cannot work out that crazy anymore.
Right.
So one to another.
Yeah.
That's what's up right now. Yeah.
But you're still in here, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
You still eat healthy, still live that lifestyle.
Exactly.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
So you're a good role model.
I'm a little
for
bit
there.
lazier than I used to be, because I don't have this mindset
Right.
to reach a goal,
Right.
in bodybuilding anymore.
Yeah.
But still on it,
Yeah.
at least 3 times a week.
Right. You got it. All right, my man. Hey, happy
Brad,
New Year.
good to see you.
Take care. I'll be out here more often for sure. So.
Oh, okay.
we'll connect.
All right, guys, Dave Man Max 6. We are back in Las Vegas at the Kilo Club, and I have the great pleasure for a long time now to have Brad Rowe, my good friend, back on the show for Project 80. Brad, welcome back, man.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you for having me on, brother.
So Brad hits me up a couple of days ago, and he says, hey, you want to film? I want to come to Vegas. I want to escape California. And here he is.
Had to get out of LA with lockdowns and everything. It was just getting overwhelming, and I just wanted to lounge in a hotel room and go and sit down and have some food and go to see some friends and go to an actual gym without having to hide in a back corner. So,
Brad, I'm so glad you're here. We haven't, I can't even remember the last time we filmed. It's been so long. It seems like I know you've been really busy with Dexter, with Mike Tyson. You've been, working a lot, and you made your home gym in the garage. I think I didn't get a chance to see the final product. I saw it. I think midway we filmed for Project 80 with your training partner. Yeah. So much has been going on since the past few months. So I wanted to have you back on the channel to let people know what's going on with you, because people always ask me, "Where's Brad Rowe? Where's Brad Rowe?" You're big favorites on the channel. So we're glad to have you back.
I appreciate it. Yeah, 2020, Jesus Christ, what a year. For everybody. Truly hindsight, I'm going to look back and say this is the best year of my life. But, talk about a transition on so many different levels. First and foremost, I'll address this. I retired from bodybuilding.
And he looks like this.
Like I said, I retired from the stage. Doesn't mean I'm not going to live the lifestyle. I'm still going to put that 90% in. But, you know, it was focused on a lot of things. You know, I planned on retiring this year, 2021 anyway. I wanted to get a few shows in 2020. Then COVID happened and it canceled all the shows in the spring. And I went through a major life transition with a divorce, and it just kind of opened my eyes that, like, you know what, I have nothing left to prove, you know, stepping on stage. Purely, it's just an ego-driven thing at this point. I always treated bodybuilding as a means to an end. I loved it, and I lived the lifestyle, but I always thought about what was next, what the next step was. And I used bodybuilding to market myself and create a brand and create a name, which I've been successful at. So bodybuilding fulfilled its needs in my life, and there's nothing left to prove. So, you know, I'm still going to train like a bodybuilder. I don't eat like a bodybuilder. Haven't really in a couple of years, but I'm still going to live that lifestyle. I'm going to do the 90%. I'm going to stay in great shape year round. But if I get invited to a barbecue or out for drinks, or I want to go away for a weekend, I'm not going to stress about missing a workout or missing a meal or having something bad to eat. I'm going to try to enjoy life a little more. So that was kind of truly the reasoning behind retiring. You know, obviously I wasn't pleased with my last showing, but it is what it is. You know, why put myself through 12, 16 weeks of stress and isolate myself even more for filling my ego, you know?
Is it ever 15, 16 weeks of prep for you? Because you're always show ready. I mean, really, realistically, how long does it take you to get ready for a show?
I could probably be ready in like 3 weeks.
That's what I thought. That makes more sense.
I mean, the biggest thing for me would just be adding volume back. You know, I've downsized a good 10 pounds so far, and I want to drop another 10 pounds. But, you know, this next phase of my life is just health and wellness. You know, that's what I'm trying to focus on. My center that I'm opening is best way to describe it is a life enhancement center. And my job is truly to be the face of that. So walking around at 260, 265, bloated in the off season, trying to put on size to be competitive, just doesn't sell health and wellness. So I'm trying to drop down to about 230. I'm about 242, 243 right now in that range. Get down to 230, stay this type of shape, really lean, and get more into athletic training. You know, I miss being an athlete again. And having my best friend move in with me, you know, he was an athlete growing up. So, like, we go out and we play basketball now. We throw the football around. And that's stuff that I want to get back into, you know, just to be more of a well-rounded athlete and get that, you know, that joint and collagen elasticity back while I'm young. So that way, when I do get into my 40s and 50s, I'm still agile and I can still move. So that's where my focus is.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think one of the last time we filmed, we actually filmed a training where it was your agility training, and I don't see no bodybuilders doing that. One day a week, we're actually doing agility training, and I still think you're quite an athlete. I mean, so you want to get more into that moving forward?
Yeah, you know, I got a couple little injuries that I'm trying to heal up right now. Just trying to be smart about things, and then once those are healed, I'm gonna go out and put myself like an NFL combine. And, you know, test all my markers and then try to improve upon those. You know, I want to get back into be able to play a full 5-on-5 pickup game with no worries. I want to be able to dunk a basketball again. It's been about probably 8 years since I've been able to dunk, and I haven't really tried because I'm afraid of hurting myself. So, you know, those are things that I want to get back to. I want to get back to feeling like a kid again and doing the things that I really love, because that was the one thing I hated about bodybuilding, is that I was always so worried about getting injured that I gave up a lot of the passions of my life. I used to love skiing, love snowboarding. Nothing more fun in the world to me than playing a pickup game of basketball. And it just hit a point when I was competing that I was like, man, that's not the smartest thing to do. If I strain something, you know, then I'm out such and such weeks, you know. So I put all that on the back burner, and that's kind of part of my life that I want to regain.
Talk to me a little bit about 2020. You said that obviously it was a tough year for everybody. You seem to have made the most of it. So many cool things have happened to you. You started training. One of the things I want to talk about is, of course, you helping Mike Tyson, you know, achieving his return, which was unbelievable and very well publicized. You know, that was a big deal this year. But also your wellness center. But talk to me a little bit about how you found a way to make 2020 a positive one in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. It's just my mentality, you know, adapt or die. You know, I'm not one of those people that's just going to sit back and let life come to me. I'm going to attack life. So when COVID hit and everything got locked down, you know, obviously I was training people out of Gold's Gym Venice that got shut down. I got a mortgage. I had 4 cars at the time, you know, me and my ex-wife, you know, we had all this stuff going on. And I was like, yeah, I've got a savings account that can last me a long time, but I don't want to dive into my savings. So what do I do? was like, all right, I got a garage. My ex-wife had a bunch of shit in there. I was like, I'll just pick up a couple pieces, at least keep myself mentally sane. This was like the very beginning when they said like 14 days to flatten the curve. Yeah. So I picked up a couple pieces of equipment, Bowflex being like kind of like the main piece, just to dick around with to keep myself sane. And then all of a sudden we started realizing that shit, this is going to last a lot longer than we think it is. So I started procuring a bunch of different pieces of equipment, cleaned out everything in the garage, and transform that into a really kick-ass training studio. I mean, I've got everything that you could ever imagine or you need in one spot. So inside my garage itself, then I put a 10 by 20 tent outside, which has a huge Arsenal strength power rack.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, you even see that? Yeah. So I got the huge Arsenal strength power rack. I've got like the assault bike. I've got a glute ham machine. I've got a rowing machine, a bunch of different stuff, because like I started training more athletes outside of bodybuilding, so I had to get equipment to help out with the athletes. So this year, like I said, even my clientele base transitioned.
So you were able to keep all your clients, they came to your house instead of Gold's? Is that what happened?
Yeah, actually, I kept a couple existing clients, but I picked up a bunch of new clients, Tyson being one, another kid who's a UCLA quarterback. Hopefully he'll be the starter next year, working with him. And so my focus really is like, I love bodybuilding, but I was an athlete. And I want to get back into that athletic space. So I'm really trying to promote myself and work with these high-level athletes. And that's kind of the premise around my center, too, is like, what would elite professional athletes want? And I created a place that has everything under one roof that elite professional athlete would want. Now, obviously, that's not going to be our main clientele base, but we're going to cater to those types.
Tell me what kind of service you're going to have over there.
Everything under the sun. So
be specific.
a large performance center. So, all your weights, AstroTurf, anything you could ever imagine from a training athletic standpoint. We'll have a hormone and wellness clinic, IV infusions. I'll have orthopedic surgeon that's doing some really cutting edge stem cell laser injections. PRP. We'll do massage therapist, physical therapy, have a really high-end juice bar, a cafe with like a lounge, so there's a social aspect to it. We're going to associate with a meal prep company. So
are you going to cook?
Yeah, probably.
You've done it.
I'm sure to start it out. All these different biohacking modalities like PEMF, hyperbaric chambers, infrared sauna, red light therapy, float tanks, like the underwater treadmills, so athletes that are rehabbing from like leg injuries can still run. We'll have about 10 newbies in the place, so that'll be, a main aspect of our gym. So everything from mind, body, and soul that you can imagine under one roof. And as of right now, it's really never been done. And so we're just in the process of looking for property. That's kind of been the slowest process of this whole thing. Finding adequate parking in LA is tough. And then a couple spaces that we've found, our broker has pitched us as a high-level gym, and they get really turned off by that. They're worried about us being able to maintain a lease on, such a large space. So I have to get him to transition and call us, like I said, a life enhancement center, because there is way more medical side of the things than there even is the performance training center stuff. So hopefully we can change some landlords' minds and get rolling in the next couple months, so that way we can shoot for like a July opening.
And this is something that you possibly will branch all over the United States as well, you're telling me?
Yeah, that's the plan. My investors, they absolutely love the concept, and they want to have multiple in different markets. So, we'll get the first place open, 18 to 24 months to prove concept, and then we'll open one in Miami, New York, and just hit all the different major markets. And then hopefully turn around in like 6 or 7 years and sell it all for a couple $100 million. So that's.
But you can't retire because you'll never stop working.
No,
you know that.
No. I'll find another project. I'll figure something else out.
This guy. Wow. Talk to me a little bit about Mike Tyson, because I'm sure everybody wants to know. How you helped Mike. He actually went on Joe Rogan, and I listened to some of the interview. Mentioned your name in there, your pictures. I was so excited for you, I have to tell. And so tell me a little bit how this whole relationship with Mike started, and how you were able to help him out for his return.
So one of my clients, who actually was my original investor in my gym, had connected with Mike. Him and his wife are doing a business venture with Mike. And since he ended up going down that venture with Mike, he had to back out of his investment deal with me. But a couple weeks later, all of a sudden he hit me up one day. I was at Gold's training people, and he's like, "Hey, you got to come down to Tyson Ranch. I'm here right now. I want you to get Mike on the newbie." And I'm like, shit. It's like I cancel all my clients. I drive down to El Segundo. I walk in. And my first interaction with Mike was hilarious. So he's in this little like office space. It's like a lounge, sitting on the couch, smoking this big old joint. And I walk in, he's like, yo, who's this big motherfucker? And I'm like, he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I got this machine. He's like, what's that do? I'm like, make you look like me. He's like, well, shit, get my ass on it. So I get Mike on the machine, and Mike was really high on mushrooms and weed. So like he was so out of it. And so I put him through a little shoulder rehab session in the lower back because his shoulder's all messed up and his back's all messed up. So I put him through like a little rehab session on both. And like I said, he was so high that like I didn't think he remembered me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I had the experience. So I went home that night, and I'm like, I'll never see him again. But, you know, it was an experience.
Cool, yeah.
The next day he wakes up, and he goes to his wife. He's like, man, my shoulder feels good. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, you don't remember that dude with the machine? He's like, what dude? What machine? He goes, figure out who he is. Get him back. So I get a text the next day like, hey, Mike wants you to come back. So I went back to his office the next day, worked on him. And then, so this is in
straight.
Yeah, this is in January. I met him on January 22nd. 22 is my lucky number. So from that point out, I was rehabbing him like 2 to 3 times a week. I'd go to his office in El Segundo, which is just like 18-minute drive from my house. Yeah. Then COVID really kicked in, and they had to shut down the office, so I didn't see him for a while. And out of the blue, I got a call. If you guys remember that first training video that Mike released of him boxing, where he looked crazy fast. Oh, he paid for it. He threw his back out really bad. Couldn't move for 2 days. So I get a call like, hey, you know what? You can come down to Newport and work on him. So I drove down, hooked Mike up, and then we started training together from the rehab standpoint again. And I kept telling him, like, Mike, you got to try this thing out for a workout. You know, I really think it will help you. It will keep you injury-free. You know, we'll get some performance work out of it. So I got him in for one workout, and surprisingly, on this one really important day, I had my pitch to my investors. I had to, you know, have my pitch deck for my business plan, and I went and saw Mike before that. And Mike looks at me and goes, well, today's your lucky day. He's like, my trainer just moved to Arizona, so you're my new full-time trainer. And like there I am.
That's not a question.
Right. And like there I am, like a shirt and tie and everything, getting ready to go do this pitch. And then later that day, I nailed my pitch to the family, my investment group, and they said they wanted to invest in me. So on the same day, I landed Tyson, and I landed this $10 million investment to open up this place. So it was like, wow, what a day. And then from that point out, I was training Mike twice a day. So I would go to Tyson Ranch, his office in El Segundo, and I warm him up on the newbie before he goes in and boxes. It's about a 15 to 20-minute process. I get his shoulders warmed up, his lower back, his legs, get everything firing efficiently that when he steps in the ring, everything's warmed up, primed, firing right, and he can move without getting hurt. Mm-hmm. So I'd do that every day at 1, and then he'd come to my house at 3:30 and weight train. So from end of May through, I mean, just right before Thanksgiving when his fight was, I was in Mike twice a day, 5, sometimes 6 times a week. You know, we became good buddies. You know, just getting to know Mike is one of the most amazing things in the world. Like, I don't care about celebrity status. Like,
how is he as a person? Yeah.
But that's Mike is such a caring, loving individual. You know, like when I went through my divorce, like he was so supportive of me, like the whole time, just, you know, trying to always pick me up and talk to me about things. And he's so intelligent, so in depth that people, they don't realize that. You know, you think of Mike, he can't really talk. He's got that little bit of a lisp. But Mike is a very intelligent individual. You know, he studies ancient history. He's all about all these great kings and warriors and just trying to figure out the human condition and what drove those people. He's a major history buff. So he'll start spitting out stuff and you're like, where the hell did that come from? So just truly one of the most intriguing individuals that I've ever met. And, you know, and Mike, you know, has his demons, and he's open about it, and he's talked about it. So, you know, you see so many different sides of Mike on a daily basis. And but all in all, I mean, he's just such a great individual, and it's just been one of the most amazing experiences I could ever imagine being around him, because I meet so many people at his office. I mean, Mike Tyson is the icon of icons. Yep. So, like, before, like, COVID really hit, every single day, professional athletes, major figures in you know, political world, you name it, would be coming to Tyson Ranch. I'd be like standing next to like Jerry West, and he's like talking to me about the newbie and like all these other huge name people, and I'm just like meeting Halle Berry a couple times a week. You know, it's just like, shit, the people I've met through him has just been so amazing, and he really just screams on the rooftop at how amazing I am in the newbie. You know, almost every major athlete that walks in there, he like forces them to get a little demo on him. So like I've worked on so many professional fighters, UFC guys, you know, athletes on a day-to-day basis in there. So it's just been such an awesome experience.
How was he feeling after the fight? What was his frame of mind? Was he happy with how it went?
He was beyond happy. You know, it was the fight didn't go as we had planned. You know, Roy kind of tied him up a lot. Every time Mike would make an aggressive move and come in on him, Roy would grab him and hug him. So he didn't really get much rhythm to get out there. But one of the biggest knocks that all we heard during the entire fight prep was, Mike's too old. He's going to get gassed after the second round. He's never going to make it. Well, he went 8 rounds and still could have got another 6. You know, so that was better than a knockout for Mike to prove that, hey, I stood in the ring, I boxed, I looked good, I moved good, I stayed healthy, and I made it 8 rounds with gas to go. So after the fight, he was just absolutely elated. It was so amazing to see him happy because it was kind of like the epicenter of his comeback. You know, as you guys know, 2 years ago, Mike was 350 pounds and a coke addict.
Wow.
You know, so and he decided to turn his life around. So this was kind of like the pinnacle of that life-changing moment for him. So we're back in camp next week.
I was just going to ask you. He's actually wanted to come back earlier. You said, I need to take some time off. I need to have a Christmas vacation.
right after the fight, he comes up to me, gives me a hug. He's like, all right, I'm going to take 2 weeks off when I get back. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I'm gone for the next 3 weeks because I went to New Mexico and did a spiritual retreat. And then I had to go to Phoenix with a client for the USAs. Then I had to go to the Olympia with Orlando. And then I'm like, and I want like 2 weeks to myself. So I told him, like, we'll start back January 4th. So I get a couple more days without him, and then it's back to the grind again. But it's exciting. Like, I can't complain about being in that situation.
No. Do you think he wants to continue? Do you think he would want to fight again?
He wants to keep. Oh yeah, we're trying to set up a fight in March.
So I was asking Jay when we were talking about you and training Tyson the last time we filmed. I was asking Jay. I said, do you think Mike would want to make a real comeback the way Foreman did? I mean, I remember when Foreman came back and get a title again. He was in much worse shape than Tyson, and he won. Do you think that's possible?
He wants it.
Oh, I knew it. I told Jay. He didn't think so.
He wants Tyson Fury.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've heard some high-level conversations that, Tyson Fury kind of said, hey, pass all your health stuff, get in the ring a couple times, show that you can make it the distance, that you can actually fight, and, we'll talk about something up. Wow. So, I think he's got 1 or 2 more exhibition fights in him, because when you're away from boxing that long, there's just so much technicality, so much technique that you kind of miss. So even though the training camp was really long, because the fight was originally planned to happen in September.
That's right.
And then they ended up pushing it back till Thanksgiving weekend in hopes to get people in the Staples Center, which didn't happen anyway. So I kind of like mentally and physically, it was kind of he broke him down a little bit. At like 6 weeks before the fight, Mike looked amazing. He shredded, abs everywhere. And then he had a couple little injuries, and then just mentally it just got really draining on him.
Bodybuilding, prepping for a show, same thing.
Right. So he got burnt out a little bit. It's like physique-wise, he looked much better 4 to 6 weeks out from the fight, and he still looked respectable. Yeah. But the way he moved in the ring and his confidence, he needed that extra time to get that groove back as a boxer. So now we've got it. Now we just capitalize on it. We keep the ball rolling. He's had a little mental reset. We keep the body fresh, and now he's got the technique down, so we can roll into a fight in March. And then I think you'll see him do something else in July. And I think hopefully we can get one of these big names, whether it's Anthony Joshua, Wilder, or Fury.
I'm so glad to hear this because I remember one of the last time that he talked to Joe Rogan before the last time. Yeah. So previous that they were talking, and Joe says, "Hey, you think you could, come back?" And he says, "I don't even know who that guy is anymore." And look what happened, right? Yeah,
I mean, he found himself. He found his confidence again. Mike lost kind of just all hope in life for a while. Wow. So now he's finally, like I said, Stella got his groove back. So, but more than that, he's trying to give hope to other older athletes that there's still life. So that's what the whole idea of this Legends Only League is. They're going to do different sports. They're going to get legends from different genres to come and compete again, to just let them do what they love and what they enjoy, and get back into it. Like the first day Mike sparred, he gets in the ring, this big Samoan kid just tangled him up, just beat him up, had him against the ropes, throwing blows. And so Mike got out of the ring, and he was all huffing and puffing. I'm like, so when you got punched in the face, did you say, "What the fuck am I doing here?" or "I belong"? He goes, "Oh man, it felt like riding a bike. I was right where I need to be." I'm like, that's the answer we need. As long as you feel that way, then let's keep rolling, So he loved it. He loved the whole experience, and he's excited to get back after it.
What an inspiration. I'm so glad that you are a part of this. We are so proud of you in the bodybuilding community because this is it's big time, man.
I try to be very humble and not get too excited about stuff, but when I actually sit back and think about it, it's like, like he will tell you straight up, there's no way he would have made that fight if it wasn't for me and the newbie. And it's like, to be such an integral part of one of the most iconic people's comeback, it's just, I don't know, it still hasn't hit in, still hasn't sunk in. So
you're still in it,
right? And you know, but the way I am is like, you know, I want more. I don't want to lose them. You know, it's like, so, you know, I'm constantly trying to keep pushing. You know.
Did you help him with his nutrition, his supplementation? Also, I know you're a big 80 proponent. Obviously, did you help him out with all that?
Yeah. So I had a full
I
had a full supplement protocol going on. You know,
what did you have him on?
He was really big on amino tour. You know, because
yeah,
I mean, because like I said, he'd box, and then he'd have like an hour and a half break, and then he'd come weight train. And he didn't want to eat a meal in that time because he'd feel bloated. So I'd make him drink amino tour before he boxed, right after he boxed, and then before he trained. And then I'd make him a whey isolate shake after. I got him on Immune, our vitamin. Got him on Grazed, Liver Plus. He loved Shreddable. But unfortunately, Shreddable would pop for the drug testing they had to do for the fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we had to pull the Shreddable out at like 8 weeks out from the fight because they started drug testing him at that point. But he loved the feeling on that. He used to take
that's strong, huh?
He used to take Synedrex from Metabolic, and I'm like, try this, and he's like, holy shit. So he loved that. You know, we're hoping that we can get a product line made for Mike. So, you know, I don't want to talk too much about that, but
Joe was telling you a little bit about that.
It was awesome. It was supposed to happen before, and they just got overwhelmed with everything they have going on in their life. So hopefully we can capitalize and get it out before the next you know, fight comes out, so we can really market that. So you know, and Joe, you know, like I'm one of those people, I want to bring everybody up around me. You know, so when I had the opportunity to introduce Joe to them, I brought him over. He met them because Joe
was excited.
And Joe's been so amazing to me. You know, like I said, most companies, when you retire as a bodybuilder, you're gone. You know, they have no use for you. Joe, for the past 4 years, has been telling me, just retire. He's like, I don't care if you compete. He's like, you're still going to brand yourself. You're still going to market yourself. He's like, I'm invested in Brad Rowe. I'm not invested in the bodybuilder. So, you know,
says a lot.
Right. You know, Joe's got my back for the past 5 years now. And, you know, we're going to have a very long future together. You know, he's got some other things up his sleeve.
He's got tons of stuff coming.
That's
why he moved to Florida.
Right. So, you know, he's got, he announced it the other day that he's got a skincare line for women coming out. And I'm going to be the face of the men's skincare line.
I could see that.
And, you know, he's got a few other things he's got down the road. And when I open my facility, you know, with our hormone and wellness clinic, obviously we want our own supplements. So, you know, he'll produce all of our supplements for us. You know, so it's going to be a very long relationship that we'll have. And I'm so grateful for Joe in my life to be able to grow. And
he helped you be where you are today, obviously, at the beginning.
Yeah, so, you know, he's got my back and I got his. And, you know, it's rare in this day and age to be with a company and you know, be with them for that long and have so much dedication to each other. Yeah,
I think he really appreciates loyalty above all, you know.
More than anything. So, and again, I mean, since I retired bodybuilding, it's not like I don't stop taking product. I mean,
I was going to ask you, so now that you're not actually actively competing, what's your like staple regimen as far as supplement?
The supplement regimen, the only thing that's changed is I don't do Raging Full anymore, the carbohydrate drink, which he got rid of anyway, because I do keto and I fast. But I still do amino tour and nitrox before I train. I do all the health supplement stuff because that's one thing. I'm huge on health supplements. You guys go on my Instagram, you'll see I probably take about 170 pills a day.
Yeah, we saw you do the baggies and everything.
Yeah, all the baggies. I do about 170 pills a day. Wow. You know, everything's all health related. The Liver Plus, you know, one of the great products he came out with is the Immune Plus. You know, especially this day and age, like one of the biggest things government's not focusing on is how do we build up our natural immune system. Like, you know, so it blows my mind that as a nation we haven't put more focus on health and wellness, which is what Joe did. And that's what I loved about AD from the get-go, was Joe always had a bigger vision. It wasn't about sports performance products, you know, right? It's just a part of it. He was actually trying to almost phase out of that and focus on the health and wellness line, which is kind of what I've always been focused on from day one anyway. So our vision is the same for the brand. So, you know, Professor Nut's probably one of the greatest things ever created.
Why do you like that?
You get to eat all the peanut butter in the world with nothing but protein from it. So
people don't believe in it. They're like, that can't be true.
Right, they don't get it. You know, he did the clinical studies. He got published in the Metabolic Journal. So the proof is in the pudding. And, you know, so I eat about a half a jar of Professor Nuts a day. I just slap it on celery or these coconut wraps. What else? Shreddable. You know, I'm addicted to that. every morning before fasted cardio and before pre-train. So, you know, I still use the whole array of supplements. And
So your routine hasn't really changed since you retired. It's like you retired from competing, but really your life hasn't changed at all.
right. The only thing I don't do is I don't practice posing, and I don't eat. I fast like 18 hours a day for the most part, and then I just have like maybe one small meal before I train, and then I eat just a gigantic meal right before bed and crawl into bed like a.
So you eat twice a day?
Twice a day, yeah, maybe 3 times. Yeah, you know, it's, you know, people always talk about, oh, you're gonna wither away if you miss a meal. When you've been doing it for 20-something years and you have, you know, hard-earned, dense muscle built the right way, it's hard to get rid of. Trust me, I'm trying to downsize, and it's like I can't lose weight. You know, I'm getting leaner, but like the muscle's still staying there. So,
like Jay,
yeah, and which is a blessing. You know, it's you don't want to see all that hard work wither away in a heartbeat, but I do want to get my weight down just a little more. So slow and steady.
Brad, you have a lot going on, and I'm not surprised because I remember, when did we start filming together? I can't even remember. It was years ago. It's got to be
2011 or 2012.
Right?
2012. Yeah.
And I remember going to your house at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever, when you were delivering your meals and everything. And you had such a hard work ethic, and I was just like, I knew back then that you were going to go somewhere. So for me to see how your life has evolved and everything that you're involved now and how great you're doing is just, it's really nice to see someone bust their ass hard, and actually make it. It's a great success story. I hope you know that.
I you know, again, I don't give myself enough credit, and I don't sit back and enjoy my accomplishments enough in life. But especially with everything that happened this year, it's kind of made me sit back and it's like, fuck, I'm so blessed, you know. And it's not even about, like I was telling you before, it's not even about the money or the businesses or the celebrity stuff that I'm around. It's the people that I have in my life, and that's what I'm most grateful for. You know, my clients in Malibu, Damien and Brandy, you know, they're the ones that hooked me up with Tyson. They have helped me so much. You know, I just truly love being around them. They're such amazing human beings. You know, they've helped me with this whole spiritual journey after the divorce to really help me get my shit together and you know, get rid of some of that pain and work on some internal stuff. You know, they hooked me up with Tyson. You know, I've got Connolly, the dentist, who's, you know, one of my best friends. And
great friends in your life.
Right. There's just so many good people in my life. I just moved my best friend in with me. He's been here for almost 3 months now. He left a $200,000+ a year corporate job to come live with me and be the manager at my gym. Wow. You know, my childhood friend since we were 3 years old. So like, to think about that in life, it's like, I'm pretty fucking blessed. So, and that's the most important thing to me is it's not about money. It's not about fame. It's about surrounding yourself with good people and just being a good human.
Yeah, I love it. On that note, we're going to wrap it up. I don't think we can top this this high note in the interview. Brad, I'm really glad you came to Vegas. I hope to see you back much more often. I go to LA once in a while, but I think it's better for you to come here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll come here, just, you know, hang out in a hotel and enjoy some good food, you know, and some friends for sure. So.
All right, so Dave MX6 for Brad Rowe and Project 80, and we're out.